Hey there, Internet. Keeve here, and welcome to the Cars with Keeve YouTube channel. What do I have in front of me? This is reverse osmosis. So, in many videos I've done in the past, I started out with cheaper DI solutions and deionized systems for spotless water. Now, for my type of water, which is very low, 50 to 60 ppm, the DI solution is probably the more cost-effective solution in the long run. There's less stuff you have to use and this and that, but as those videos got more popular, I started getting more comments, people in areas with really bad water. And they're like, hey, my little max water system that I had would last me 100 gallons or maybe even close to 150 gallons. And some other people, it was only lasting like 1 or 2 car washes. And they're like, well, what's going on? And then they would blame it on the DI system. But really, truly, it's just because the worse the water, the harder the water, the higher the TDS the water, the more work the resin has to do. The more work it has to do, the quicker it wears out. So how do you solve that issue? Well, many areas where water is really bad, especially detailers and people like that, reverse osmosis is the way to go. One of the main good things about reverse osmosis is how long it lasts. A well-maintained membrane can last years. Just depends. Just like resin, the worse the water, the quicker they wear out. This unit, this is the Liquagen 100 GPD. So that leads us to one of the bad things about reverse osmosis. It's much slower than the water that you would be using. Even underneath your sink, most of these systems have a tank that holds water that can help maintain the pressure you need. Now, when it comes to car washing, you're going to want to store it in some kind of vessel, whether that's anything from a food grade trash can all the way up to a really big tank. Let's get back to the good about a reverse osmosis system. Obviously, cleaner water, more drinkable water. It's not necessarily, like I said, a water that is a spotless water. It could be, depending on what comes out of it. Most reverse osmosis systems are 90 to 95% effective. So if you have 100 TDS, you're going to expect 5 to 10 ppm at the end. So this flows in from this direction. The very first filter, this is your sediment filter. Usually a 1 to 5 micron. I believe this one is a 5 micron. It's like a polypropylene filter that just takes rust and solids and stuff like that out of the water. Second filter is a UDF filter. It's like an activated charcoal carbon filter. That's going to take especially for people with drinking water issues, it's going to take that bad taste out of your drinking water. It's going to take out the chlorides and fluoride, stuff like that. And then your third stage is like a coconut carbon block. That's going to take care of your chlorine, your color issues, if you have color issues in your water, stuff like that. Takes care of all of that. And then we get to the membrane. Membrane is going to take care of your mercury, lead, all kinds of solids. And all it is, it's just a membrane. And that water is being forced through that membrane, creating clean water on one side and then wastewater. Which leads us to the really bad thing about RO water is wastewater. So only so much of the good water can make its way through. Deionized water, all of it makes it through to the point to where the DI resin doesn't work anymore, and then all the water slowly gets bad. With a membrane, only the good water makes it through to the end. And then all the rest of it comes out as wastewater. Now, at most quality waters, it's usually, they say the standard is like 3 to 1. So for every gallon of clean water that you get, you're going to get 3 gallons of wastewater. So for that clean water, you need a place to store it. Now, one place you can store it is right here. And I think this right here is the perfect fit, because this system right now is about $150 on Amazon. I went around and looked, and this had everything I was looking for. I did not want an RO system with a DI already built into it in these filters, because I need a bigger source. I already have one. I already have a bigger DI system. I don't want one on this. I just want the RO system. I'll store the RO water. Then I pump that RO water through my DI system for my spotless rinse. And I'll show you how I'm going to do all of that. Just be careful, because if your wastewater is really bad, that water could be pretty potent to certain plant life. Now, this is a Brute white 20-gallon trash can. Right now on Amazon, these are like 30 bucks. And they'll slap a sticker on this and they'll ship it to your house just like this. Rubbermaid states that all of their commercial trash cans are food grade safe. I've worked in a chicken plant before. Just store chicken all the time in these types of trash cans. Yeah, it stands right here. It's an FG. So if the number starts with FG, it's food grade. And these are BPA free as well. 20 gallons is more than enough for a single car wash. So this is a 100 GPD. So that's 100 gallons per day. Now, normally, only in a perfect world are you going to get 100 gallons of clean water out of one of these in a day. I would bank on 80. To make sure that we have the right readings and stuff, I went and bought another TDS meter, one that's calibratable. The in-out system that I was using in the previous DI system, I figured that out. I was able to plumb it into this so we can see the ppm going in and the ppm coming out, so we can see that percentage. This isn't as accurate as this because this measures flowing water, and I broke the calibration screw on it. I bought some calibration fluids. It's 340 ppm calibration solution. So at 77 degrees Fahrenheit, this is exactly 342 parts per million. And when I put this in there, it comes out to about 350. So it's a little higher. This is at like 71 degrees right now, so it's not exactly 77 degrees, but at least lets me know that it's in the ballpark. It said it came with a garden hose thread conversion to this kind of, I don't know if this is 1/4 inch or 1/8 inch piping. It might be 1/4 inch. Is it 1/4 inch? 1/4 inch. This actually was MPT, or at least the MPT screws in there. The garden hose thread does not get in here. I'm not sure why, but easily get an MPT to GHT. Everything will be linked below, but all this came with it. The red is the inlet. It comes with a much longer piece, this right here. You first run this thing, you're gonna run the flush, and you're gonna run it for about 35 to 40 minutes of just flush. That gets all of the preservatives and everything that's in there in that membrane when it is first there, getting all that cleaned out and washed out to where you can really start to clean water. You have a tool just for the cap for this, and you have a tool for these right here. The membrane works best between 50 and 90 psi. You need at least 50 psi of constant flowing water for the membrane to do its most effective work. Then once you don't want to go above 80 to 90 psi. Everything in the video will be linked in the description below. Anything that I even mentioned that I might not have right here, I'll link one below as well. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get to testing. Obviously this is wall mountable, but it sits very stably, just the way it is. Your wastewater tube, your black tube. What we're gonna do is we're run the black tube into here. Now black tube runs obviously sometimes 3 times more. So I put a little clamp right there to kind of hold that tube so it, doesn't go flailing all over the place. Then the white tube, it really doesn't go anywhere. So I just run it through the little hole in the handle right here, like this, and then I just let it sit in there. It's a very, very low pressure coming into the clean part of this process. At 100 gallons per day, which we already stated, that probably isn't going to happen. You're talking like 4 gallons an hour to fill the 20 gallon. That's like 5 hours. I'm thinking it'd be more closer to 6. I don't think I'm going to run it for that long. So first I think we should just go ahead and grab a little cup full of just straight tap water to see what the TDS is. Got my cool little water hose holder here. It's literally a magnetic cup holder that has like perfect size slots for a water hose. So our incoming TDS is a little bit lower today than normal, 49. Usually running 52 to 53. Now that we got that done, we're gonna hook up our RO through our quick connect here. I can put a little tension here so that way I don't put, no, you don't want to put tension on these tubes right here. They're seated in there and the little push pin. So once you push one of these little hoses in there, it becomes tight and sealed. But all you have to do is push the little push connect that's there and it loosens it up and you can just take that tube out. So you can move these around. They're not permanent. That's the genius of these types of fittings. Now, as a warning, if you do have high pressure, so my setup when it's constantly running, it's 70 to 80. When it sits, I can get up to 100 or even close to 120 pounds of pressure just sitting there waiting. So when you pull the trigger, you pull the valve, that first bit comes out crazy, but then over time, the flow of water, it gets back down to its normal pressure. So if you've been pressurized for a while, don't turn that on immediately and force all that water through your membrane. quickly. You want to slowly let the water, let that pressure regulate. I've already flushed this in my initial testing, so we're just going to go straight into the cleaning part. So I'm going to turn the water up a little bit to begin with to let it start working. You see the filters filling up. So here's your flow. You see how much less that flow is going into the clean side versus how quickly the dirty side is flowing. Now this is the reason that I have this here, because if you do accidentally forget that it's in flush mode, this is going to increase tremendously. Here's flush. See that move? It's a lot of pressure in there. Without that holding it down, it's just going to flail all over the place. You see how much more flow there is and how much less flow there is coming into the clean side. When we turn the flush off, this is normal operating mode. The water is going through the restricted water flow instead of the full flush. Let's see our incoming 55 ppm. Our outgoing is, it's 2 ppm. We're dang near spotless. We're really already in spotless territory, but since we're storing the water, we might as well run it through the CR spotless. That's another way to store water, but that's a 500-gallon holding tank. I'd say there's about 300 gallons in there right now, 250. It's just a big pillow, but you can get these in different amounts to where they're a fifth of this size. You could probably fit them in a garage and hold 100 gallons. I want to run a stopwatch for 30 seconds. Fill this up from the clean, and then I have another cup over there, and 30 seconds we'll fill it up with this. We'll weigh the difference and we'll see how much waste versus clean that we have. Here's our clean water. This is in kilograms. 0.15. Dirty water, 0.38. So that's about 2.5 times wastewater versus clean water. So this is definitely more accurate than the one we're using for the in and the out currently because of calibration. So the water fully in here is 4 ppm. Now let's check out the dirty water. Now 106 ppm. So you can see we definitely have wasteful water. Now if you had 300-400 TDS water, this water is going to be potent. Do not water plants with this water. The cool thing here is they're both at about the same height in water, because this is a 20 gallon and this is a 55 gallon. This is 2.5 times the size of that one. Well, we're an hour in. This is as far as I'm going to go, but you see how much this is full and how much this is full. So the water's coming through the wall this way, or I can feed it in this way. I have this shut-off valve right here. This has a water hose connection, so I can just swap that out and then run that to my washing machine if I need to. This is an RV pump. It says it's 5.5 gallons per minute. I think the most I've ever gotten is 3.5, but it is an on-off pump. When it pressurizes and gets what it's supposed to do, it automatically turns off. It doesn't run constant. And then we just take our hose and we just put it in the water, and then we'll just pump it out. We have the water flowing full, but nothing's going through because I have the water from the house cut off, because we don't want to mix down here the different kinds. We want to flow just our water. So when I turn this on, there goes the pump. When I run the water, at 3.3, 3.4 gallons per minute, and you see we're still working out the air. So first thing I want to do is just capture a little bit of water in a cup so we can measure what's coming through. And now we shut the main flow of water. Now we turn the water to go into the CR spotless. And now we're going to run the water out through here into the water hose. The outlet to the pressure washer's off, so it doesn't go up that way. It's only going to go through this hose. Now you see I've dialed the water backs to make sure that CR spotless gets to its max at 2.5 GPM. We're at 2.4. We're running full. And there's our rinse water. We'll capture that water in here. Here's the water that's just getting pumped directly out of the garbage can. You see we have 6 ppm, 5 ppm, something like that. Here's the water coming out of the CR spotless, 0 ppm. There you go, and you see the water's coming out at about 4 ppm with the calibrated meter coming in at about 50, 49, 50, so about a 92% recovery rate. We're at about like 2.3, 2.4, wastewater to clean water. Pretty much what we were expecting. I would say you definitely would have higher if you have higher TDS water, but the process itself works. Make sure when you're done, you put the top on it, though. You don't want that water, stuff to settle into the water. Leave it the way it is. It's a great storage container. The water bladders are a good idea too. Make sure even when you're done using that RO membrane after 6 hours, you just flush it for maybe a minute or two. It's a good idea. So don't forget to check out the links below for anything in the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. A few bloopers ahead, and I'll see you in the next video. I don't even know what I was saying. Totally lost my track. Is a trash can. Oh my gosh. So I really think the first thing that we should do. Am I clear? Is that seeing me properly? So first thing I want to do is just capture. Ooh. Not many bloopers, but there could be a few ahead. Don't forget. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the link. So don't forget to check out the links below. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see. So don't forget. So don't forget to check out.